This is Anna Fitzpatrick. Banner ID is 01809671, and I have not collaborated with any other live person in the production or creation of this video. Tonight I'm going to be discussing variables. The first one is gender, and gender is a categorical variable because it is assigning a group or category to an individual in terms of analyzing the data. The second variable is quantitative because it's a measured numerical value with measured units. So in this case, the measured units are years. The other thing that we're going to be discussing is measures of central tendency, and that's how we find the middle or the averages of what we are trying to study in the data. The first one would be the median, and that is when you're looking at the data is half below the midpoint or central point or half above. And the second one is mean, and that is simply an average. So you add up all the values and then you divide them by the count to find the average number. So the third one is mode, and mode is shown on a graph, and it's the area of greatest frequency, and it can be seen on a bar graph. What I'm going to show you is the measures of central tendency for the age variable. The first way I'm going to do this is to do a stat summary by choosing age as a variable. Then I'm going to show you the three measures of central tendency. First one is mean. Second one is median. And the third is mode. And after computing, we see we have a nice summary right here of those three values. The next way to determine the best one to use is to do a graph called a histogram, which is going to show us, after we mark the mean and median, what we have here. And it's showing us the mode, which is this large blue bar, which is showing the area of highest frequency per age. The red bar, which is the median, and the green, which is the mean. And based on this graph, I feel the best one to use is the median, because we see that there's a diminishing frequency here and the values seem to be skewed to the right, and we also have an outlier here. The mean, which is the other one that we could use, is really only good if you have a uniform graph where it's symmetric and you could fold the two halves and they would mirror each other. But when you have something that's skewed to the right and you have an outlier, the best way to measure the central tendency is to use the median. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to graph the variable gender, and I'm going to do this with a pie chart. And I'm also going to do this by including the counts and the percentages. And you can see here the pie chart shows us the percent of females and the percent of males. The other way to evaluate this is by doing a bar plot. The gender is selected, and I'm also going to select the percent. And when I compute it, I can see that we are seeing the same percentages, and it looks similar to the pie, but I prefer the bar because I feel like it is easier to estimate the value visually, and by doing a side-by-side comparison with the bar. Then the next thing I'm going to do is a 5-number summary for the variable age, and I do that by going again into my summary stats, choosing age, and my 5 numbers that I need to summarize are the median, as well as the minimum, maximum, quartile 1, and quartile 3, and here we have a nice 5-number summary, and the way this gets plotted out is on a box plot, and this shows us those 5 numbers, the maximum, the minimum, the median, first quartile, and the third. The other way of plotting out the data, or the other 2 ways we can look at, are the dot plot, which shows these small dots show a value, and this does show us a trend somewhat, but it does not summarize the data as well as the box plot. And the last and final way would be the stem and leaf, which shows the numbers coming from a stem. And this is quite confusing. I feel like it's too much data to evaluate in this way. You can guess a trend, but it's not specific and does not summarize the data as well as the box plot. Thank you.